What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm Pony Lawson and today we're checking out some of the worst tattoos that TikTok has to offer. So let's get it. All right, this first one we're checking out are these super lumpy angel wings. I don't think they're gonna lift them very far because these things are atrocious. There's 3 little feathers on the top, maybe 2 feathers on the bottom. I don't think that's how wings work. And they almost look like they're tucked underneath the skin. I don't know why, it's just really weird. There's also feathers on the top part where I don't think feathers are supposed to be. I think that's just supposed to be some sort of like fluff or something like that. I don't know. I've done plenty of wing tattoos in my career, but I've never really put feathers on the top like that. But also, sick tribal thorns on the lower back, if I do say so myself. I mean, it almost looks like a crown of thorns, and I don't think Jesus would be too happy about that. Someone's going to hell. Well, at least he doesn't have to personally see how bad these tattoos are. I don't know what's worse, the wings or the little thorny tribal at the bottom. What do you guys think? I mean, the thorns are definitely very crooked. It looks like some of them go past his crack on one side and they go above his crack on the other. Don't do crack, kids. I mean, technically these things are terrible. What did you think I was gonna say? But enough about this back tattoo, let's check out the next one. Yeah, that's kind of an odd one. The rectangle is obviously not very rectangular. And I know there is a dip in the middle of the back, but this thing should have been put elsewhere, like in the trash. Sick drop shadow though. That thing is heavy. It does look like a giant sponge or a brick or something. That's something all right. I don't know, I mean, technically this one's not the worst I've seen. It's just really goofy. I don't really know what else to say about that one. It's just kind of it's just a weird spot. And then how else are you going to add to this tattoo later on? Are you just gonna have a bunch of rectangles all over your back? The cut of his mouth doesn't seem to line up with his actual mouth. The gray that's in there is just overall very patchy. But the purple looks nice. And I can't tell if that's a hula girl on the Joker card or what. It looks like a fishing hula girl. It looks like she's fishing, but has some kind of head at the end of her fishing line. I don't know. Weird choice, weird location. This probably would have looked better anywhere else. What's up guys? Big news, I've finally got some merch. I've got this design and many others on a bunch of cool items. We've got hoodies, we've got bomber jackets, we've got socks, you name it, I've got it. And what's even cooler is I got my friend Sabrina's help, who is actually a director over at Disney Animation. That's why they look so dope. I'm super lucky to have her help and I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. So use the link below and go stock up on a bunch of cool shit. And you know Christmas is right around the corner. Thanks again Sabrina for all the help and thank you guys for all the support. Yeah, damn. Just in time for Halloween, because this thing is scary. And is that a little like gnome sitting at the top of the tree? There's so much going on. There's like a little monkey on the left-hand side and it looks like 2 fairies are scissoring on the right. Yeah, this was just a disaster. I mean, that's just so much black bullshit on the back. Man, I'd be afraid to wear a bathing suit at the beach. The bottom fairies really remind me of those old Bratz dolls. She's also got a set of playing cards on her top left shoulder that she probably should have just covered with this disaster. And what is that that's holding the cards? It almost looks like a lizard or a gecko. There's just so much going on in this tattoo. I don't know where to look first. I keep getting drawn back to those 2 little fairies on the right side for some reason. I don't know, I think the monkey is probably my favorite part about this tattoo, if that is a monkey. This has got to be like a freehand tattoo or something. I don't know, because if I don't think a stencil would have saved this one. If we remove the tree, the 2 little fairies on the bottom probably would have looked a lot better, I guess. But it's just the addition of that tree that just turns everything into a nightmare. It's just a really skinny base of this tree to have such of a mess going on up top. This one's just let's see what else we've got. Oh yay, wolf tattoos, my favorite. All right, this one's kind of weird with the deer antlers at the bottom that looks like they're maybe in snow and the wolf is hovering above the snow and it looks like his back paw is his tongue. This is a disaster. I love these bad tattoos. They always make me laugh. If nothing else, they keep me smiling. Yeah, I think the background's just sky. Yeah, it literally looks like, oh, that's the wolf's tail. So maybe it's not hovering in the sky, but that's his tail. I mean, how could I tell the difference when the tail looks exactly like the feet? Yeah, these aren't good. These aren't great tattoos by any means. Just a weird choice too. I want to meet the type of person that gets this kind of tattoo.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
No, you do not. That person sucks.
Let's see what other wolf tattoos we've got. I'm assuming that's another antler. This one's scary. What the actual... Oh, yeah. Don't really know what's going on with this one. I don't know if that's supposed to be a tree branch, antlers. The nose is just some sort of little like bubble. I don't know. And the teeth, really weird. Wolves do have sharp teeth, but they're generally more to the side, not directly in front like a vampire. Unless that's what they were going for. The eyes are also really weird. It almost looks like the wolf is wearing a mask. There's just so much unnecessary black in this tattoo. And the shading is top notch, baby. For legal reasons, that's a joke. I mean, usually I'm all for a good amount of black shading, but it has to make sense and it has to be put in there well. This looks like it was put in with a rake. I mean, that skin is so irritated and red. I bet this ends up infected, which might be a good thing. Maybe it'll fall off. All right, we gotta move on. I don't know which one's scarier, this one or the last one. Oh boy. The old wolf dragon yin yang trick. You know, I love it. I don't know what's going through the minds of these people when they get these kind of tattoos. Like, they have to see a design first, right? You think? But I bet the person saw this one and was like, yeah, that goes hard, dog. Where's the release? Let's get this thing started. I bet he had to save up a whole $300 for this tattoo. The dragon's horns look way too big for that head. Yep, those are indeed horns. The mouth of the wolf just doesn't look like it belongs. That thing is huge and like almost gummy. What's the word I'm looking for? Like silly putty? But those green eyes though, almost saved this one. You think he was like, yeah, can we add some green eyes to the wolf though? Because that'll really put this thing over the top. I like how the dragon has some black claws and some white claws, as dragons do. Just another reason to check out portfolios before getting work. Otherwise, you might end up like this guy. But you know, he's proud of it. You know, he shows all of his friends over at the tailgate party. Real quick, we gotta take a step back from this train wreck and talk about the company that makes this all possible. And I'm talking about none other than premium tattoo aftercare company, Mad Rabbit. They've got something for everyone. Whether you're a tattooer, collector, client, they've got you covered. So head on over to madrabbit.com, check out all they have to offer, and be sure to use my code, PONY20, to save 20% off your entire order. All right, let's get back to it. And here we've got a wolf in sheep's clothing. A rework, no less. Which I don't know if I'd rather have that one or the previous one, because at least the previous one would be a lot easier to cover up. And hey, we've got that other guy's back tattoo. Like, what's the point? Throw a key around his neck and add this weird, thorny, tribal-looking stuff around the outside? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm sure the key was very meaningful. Oh, I do see the key in the original one. Didn't know that was there. It's funny because I think the guy was almost out of this tattoo. He could almost start over again, but then went right back to the original horrible design. And it's not even like the new tattooer tried to make this thing that much better. They still used a lot of the same shadows, a lot of the same shapes and features. With a tattoo that's this far gone, you could almost stencil anything else over it. If you wanted a new wolf in sheep's clothing, just start fresh. I mean, obviously this tattoo is very meaningful to the person if they wanted it twice, but who am I to judge people's terrible decisions? Let's see what other wolves we've got. Forever Free. Not with that thing. Jesus Christ, look at the neck on that wolf. This tattoo is just a disaster as well. The lettering is awful, the moon is awful. It looks like little buttons or something on the moon. They don't look like craters, that's for sure. Ryan thought it was a chocolate chip cookie. It does look a lot more like a chocolate chip cookie than an actual moon. And maybe that wolf is hungry.
Oh.
It just looks like a dog in pain, if I'm being honest. Sick flames. It's weird if we zoom into the flames, we see a little line that's running halfway through the second flame over. Like they tried to fold the flame or something, or just get crazy with it. Oh, they also did the same thing on the rightmost flame as well. Added a little bit of shading here and there just to make this thing a lot more badass. I don't know what would hurt worse, having this tattoo on your ribcage or just having this tattoo. I don't know, I think I've had enough wolves for today. Let's see what else we've got. All right, here we have what looks like is supposed to be Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family, doing her awkward little dance, and a very poor attempt at the glitter style of tattoo. This is why it's important to go to somebody who knows how to do this style rather than just somebody who thinks they can do it, because this is not done well. Her nose is broke as fuck, boy. I mean, by this point, you know if you want a glitter tattoo, you gotta check out Amanda Graves, because there's no one out there who's doing it better. I know we don't even have to bring up her fingers because those things are crazy. Yeah, again, the glitter is just so poorly done. It just looks like, I don't know, a bag of marbles. I like how the outline of her arm is going up through the dress. Good call. What was the artist, Blindfolded? Well, let's see what else we've got. All right, I think this is supposed to be Belle from Beauty and the Beast, or maybe this is the Beast. The way the outline is coming up from her knee into her thigh, making her thigh look really weird. That's a thick ass Belle. And I think this is also supposed to be another attempt at glitter. I can't really tell if it's just white highlights or not. The way her right arm is shaded just makes it look like the entire thing has been blown out. And things that really bother me in tattoos, aside from the entire tattoo looking terrible, is the outline not connecting on her right foot. I know it's something little, in a tattoo so bad, but that's what I'm here for. And if you're gonna put tattoos on tattoos, make them look legible, make them look like something. And I don't know if I'm tripping, but if we zoom into Belle's neck, that thing is awfully thick. I mean, this tattoo is just very poorly done. There's blowouts all over this thing. If we look at the outline around the outside of her waist onto her buttocks, just gray lines everywhere. Nevertheless, moving on. All right, this one says $200 blindfold tattoo, and I have heard something about somebody doing blindfolded tattoos. The client will be blindfolded and pay an extremely cheap price for their tattoo because they don't know what they're getting. Thank God it's cheap because they look like it. You know what I think the body of that mouth looks like? I don't even have to say it. I just don't know why these things are so rough. Like, it doesn't look like the tattooer took any time making these things. The geometric lines behind this tattoo aren't very symmetrical, and the shading is just all over the place. The wings almost look like they're made of wood. Maybe they are. You got me. But a tattoo like this should have taken probably a couple sessions. If you get it done at one, it should have taken several hours. This thing, I bet, took 2 hours tops, if that. Either way, let's see what else we've got in this group of tattoos. All right, we've got a Pocahontas that honestly looks a lot better than the other work. Sure, it still has some flaws, but at least this one looks like the color is pretty well saturated. I do question the angle of her legs and knees because it looked like she's squatting or sitting on top of her legs, but it's just a hell of an angle. If this one's done by the same artist, I mean, I'm a lot more impressed with this one than the others, that's for sure. Or maybe this wasn't a blindfold tattoo and they didn't have to rush through it. The blue tree has a lot of saturation issues. That doesn't look near as good as Pocahontas herself, but light blues can be difficult, so I'll give him that. The ring finger is a bit meaty, and that pinky finger looks a little thin. Granted, I know these are small details, but still, you gotta make them right. And I'm not sure if this is just the picture or not, but around the elbow area does look rather blown out. It seems to be a reoccurring issue with these tattoos. And that hummingbird sure is girthy. And at first I thought that leaf was its wing, but it just looks like a leaf, so it makes me wonder where that hummingbird's wings are, right? Because it is green. Either way, let's check out the next one. All right, I know I've seen this character from somewhere, I'm just not sure where. I think it's from some horror movie. Annabelle, Ryan says. I love how the comment says, how did you get the bows so realistic? Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. No, but let's talk about those eyebrows. What's up with that? Well, it's a good thing this is from a horror movie because this thing is absolutely terrifying. But when we look up at those eyebrows, they're really weird and thin, and the artist decided to put a white outline on top of one, but the white highlight on the bottom of another, so it just looks off. I see an actual eyebrow on the left side of the face, so I don't know if that's an additional eyebrow. I am so confused. So I took a peek at a picture of Annabelle, and it looks like that left side was supposed to just be a crease, so there's not really supposed to be any hairs there. Major fuck up. But I mean, everything else is so distracting, so who's gonna know? Except for everybody watching. And again, another broken nose. Also seems to be a reoccurring theme. And isn't Annabelle like a wooden doll? So the finger's not really gonna press on the nose and make it move. Yep, I'll have to put this one in the jacked category. Next. All right, here we have a beautiful looking sugar skull. I'm just kidding, you know this is just as bad as the others. It's just a mess. I know sugar skulls are supposed to have a ton of detail everywhere, but there are certain ways that you can simplify some things to make it look not so messy, like around the entire outside. Again, I'm seeing a lot of blowouts when we zoom in, especially up near that top butterfly's antenna. I know, it's hard to focus on one thing when there's so much shit going on, but it's there. I mean, if we really had to break this thing down, there's not really anything symmetrical about this tattoo either. If you look at the dots above the eyes, they're all different sizes, and those should be almost identical on either side. That super thick line on the spiderweb on the left side is just so thick, it makes me think that the tattoo artist doesn't know how to really control their machine. I would almost bet this is freehanded because there's no way that a tattoo could end up like this if it were stenciled. Generally. It just really looks like the artist is rushing through these tattoos with really no care on how they end up, which is unfortunate because these people have to live with these things. Either way, I think I've had enough of this group of photos. Let's see what else TikTok has to offer. This one says, revealing my foot tattoo. And I'm very curious to see what they're gonna get because generally bottoms of feet never really stick that well. Anticipatory music. And we've got a plankton, a squished plankton at that. Yeah, again, I mean, it's a fun concept. I just can't see this thing sticking around for very long. And that had to hurt like hell, for plankton, I mean. I mean, if this tattoo were anywhere else, the saturation is pretty good. You know, I like the pinks, I like the yellows. It all looks very good now, but in 2 weeks, I'd like to see where this ends up. The skin on our feet just generates skin cells so quickly, and we're constantly moving and bending our feet that this doesn't stand a chance. I'd like them to prove me wrong, but I doubt it's gonna happen. Well, that's gonna be it for that dumpster fire of TikTok tattoos, and I hope you guys had as much fun as I did. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you all next week.